Hi everyone, it's Coach G here, and today we're going to have a short review of how to use Quizizz lessons in class. If you're not familiar with Quizizz or don't have an account, I would advise you to go ahead and pause, go to quizizz.com, and go ahead and set up a free account. It doesn't take but a minute to do, and all the free quizzes and lessons that you can use are so well worth it. So if you don't have an account, go ahead and pause and get you an account so that you can go through this with me as I explain how to use Quizizz lessons. So once you've set up your Quizizz account or you're in your Quizizz, what you want to do is focus on Quizizz lessons. Now, if you're not familiar with Quizizz is very similar to Kahoot. It's gamified assessments. They are fun for the students, allow them to practice skills in a fun, safe environment. But Quizzes lessons is more than that. It actually allows you to teach a lesson, which may be a brand new lesson or a review, because it gives you the option of adding in foundational text or videos into those assessment questions while still making it fun. So let's go ahead and get into that. This is our home screen. And from here, we have a search bar. Of course, over to your left, you have your My Library, reports, classes, settings, things of that nature. Take some time and explore that if you are not familiar with it. You have options already on your screen for things that you can use. But if you have something specific in mind, go ahead and put that information in. And I'm looking for, say, meiosis and mitosis. And as I stated before, I want to specifically look at quizzes lessons. So I don't want the quizzes and the lessons, just the lessons themselves. And of course, you can narrow down your search by looking for the number of questions you have, question types. You can choose, say, if I only wanted matching or fill in the blank, but I want all types. So I'm going to leave all of those open. Grades, I want to focus on sixth, seventh, and eighth. Now, you focus on the grades that you desire, but keep in mind if you're teaching fifth grade, don't just choose fifth grade, choose maybe fourth, fifth, and sixth, because some information is lower level, some information is higher level, and you want to get a good cross section of all so that you can choose what's best for your students, because only you know your students' level of knowledge. If you want to just be more specific so it doesn't throw in random lessons, click on science. So it kind of narrows it down even more. And as you can see, we have about 13,000 results. And that's fine, because we're just going to focus on the few we see at the top, because the deeper you get off into it, the more the actual subject kind of changes to add things that may fit in. So we're just going to scroll through and see if we can find one that actually has the information we're looking for. And because we are looking for a good lesson, we want it to have more than just maybe one or two slides, because the slide count is the number of text foundational video that they are offering, and the questions are the questions that go along with it. So if you see one slide and 18 questions, that's just a quiz. We're looking for something with more foundational information. So you do not have to click on each one to see what's in it. If you hover over it for a second, it'll pull it up over here on the right, and you can kind of scroll through to see if that's what you're looking for. And this one is good. It has lots of background information embedded with the questions. So it's not just questions and it's not just text. So that might be a good one. We can keep looking. And as you can see, this one is just mainly question. It only has 3 slides. That's just a quiz. That's not what I'm looking for. This one has 0 slides. So 0 slides tell me this is not a lesson. This is actually just an assessment, just questions. And that's not what we're looking for. This has 7 slides and 18 questions as I go through. It does have some background information, just a little bit, and it's not as much as I would want it to be. Now, when you see this little colorful AI here, it gives you the option of generating a quiz using this. This is good if you're just doing a quiz, but for a lesson, I would stay away from the AI, because it's just going to give you questions. It's not going to give you that text or video that you need. So my Toast mini lessons, it's got 20 slides and 17 questions. 20 slides, that means it has a lot of background information. Now, is all of it good? We don't know until we go through it. If we go through it, I can see where it just says add slide, add slide, add slide. Looks like someone started creating something, but they didn't put the information in. That's what you can get when these things, are on here. So maybe this is not something that I would want to use. I'm going to keep going a little bit further. This has 4 slides and 1 question. Probably not what I'm looking for. But as you can see, the further down I go, the more it kind of broadens out to what it's offering. And once again, you don't ever have to click on it just to be able to see. Just hover over it for a while and scroll through and see if it's what you're looking for. Now, mind you, when you see this premium, that's something that you're paying for. We don't want to pay for anything. We want free, free, free. So free is what we're looking for. So I'm going to go back to the one I started with, which is probably going to be the best one for what I'm working with right here. And I'm going to click on it. Once I click on it, it's going to give me some options. I can save it, I can share it, or I can copy and edit it. I want to make this for my students. So I'm going to copy and edit it. It says it was made with using an older version. That's fine. That just means that some of the links and things may not be working. It doesn't say they're not. It just says they may not be. So it's up to us to go through and make sure everything is right. So I'm going to click on OK because that's fine. Now, once you click copy and edit, you have created your own copy. This is going to be your work when you get through with it. So I just need to make it my own. The first thing I want to do is I want to take this 10.3 off of it because 10.3 may not be my chapter. I just need it to be active transport and meiosis mitosis study guide. I might just want to take the study guide off of it because maybe this is my first time introducing this material to my students, and this is just our brand new introduction to active transport meiosis and mitosis. Once I fix the title, I can go in and fix the slide as well. And all you have to do is click on it. When I say this is super simple, this Quizizz image is boring to me. I want to put an actual image there. So I'm going to hit replace image. As you notice, all I did was hover over it. I didn't have to look for a setting or anything. I just hovered over it to get that option. So now I'm going to type in mitosis and meiosis. And it actually will run a search right there for you where I can find a slide that better suits what I'm looking for. And my goodness, this actually matches what I have on my information. This is a Google Slides that I use, and it actually matches. How great is that? So I'm going to go back. That's what I want to use. I'm going to click Insert, and that's going to be my actual image on the front. That's great because now it matches. If I want to go and use my Google Slides with the kids, it actually matches the lesson. So we're good. So I'm just going to go through to see if this information is what I want to present to my students, if it matches what we actually have going on in the class. So it is up to you to go through and make sure that the information is accurate, because guess what? Not everybody provides accurate information. And to make sure that the questions have actual correct answers, because sometimes people make mistakes. So go through each slide, each question, make sure it's what you're looking for. And once you're satisfied, hey, I've gone through all of it, it's what I'm looking for, I'm going to preview. Now, this preview allows you to see what your students would see. You can back it up to the beginning. This is how it starts off for the students as they progress. You see it says participants view. This is what your students see. As it progress, this is how it looks for them. They get to a question, this is what it looks like. If you go through to the end, you're satisfied how it's going to look for your students, you exit out. And please remember, it's very important to hit publish. Once you publish it, now you can use it as an actual lesson in your class. You can assign it to your students. You can use it as a live lesson with your students. Again, it has this little image that I don't like, so I'm going to change that image here as well. See, I just hovered over it. I'm going to click that little pencil to edit it out. I can use that same slide that I used before just by Googling it, or I can use something totally different. See, that's that same slide. It has a plethora of options to choose from, but just for consistency, I'll use the same slide. And it'll appear there. So it has my name on it now as opposed to the person that originally created it. Because once you create it and publish it, unless you specify, it's going to be publicly shared. That means anybody has the ability to use your lesson, copy it, edit it, make it their own, which is fine. We are not, this is not our autobiography. This is not a book. This is just a Quizizz lesson. Now, if you want this to be private and you only use it for your benefit or for the benefit of people at your school, then you do have that option. We just have to be mindful that there's a lot of things that we as educators pull from other places, and we just want to share the love. So I typically leave all of my stuff public because it's educational purposes. So I want everybody to be able to get what they need. So, as I said, you can have a live lesson or assign independent practice. A live lesson means that I'm going to be up at the front of the class and we're doing this as a group. You move when I move. Independent practice is, hey, I put this as part of a group rotation. We're doing stations today. This is their third station. This is their fourth station. And they're going to be able to access this on their own. Either way, you have several different options on how you can get the information to the students. Start time for activity. If I have a specific time, I can turn it on. No. Show slides on student devices. Yes, I want each student to be able to see their own device because I may have students with visual problems where they can't see all the way up to the board. So it's just great to have it on their own screens. Of course, if I want to share this, I can share it to Google Classroom, Schoology, Canvas, Teams, however I want to share it. But this is such an easy thing. If you're presenting at the front of the class, just go ahead and hit present. Most kids have used Quizizz before, but if they have not, it is super simple to get them in there. The only thing they're needing to do is go to joinmyquizizz.com. And if it loads anytime soon, you'll see that pop up on the screen. Joinmyquiz.com. That's where they'll go and put that code in. They'll automatically start popping up in there. You can drop this link into a chat. You can drop this link on the Clever. You can drop this link into Canvas. You can drop this link into Teams. Or you can just leave this page up. Let them all sign in. And then go ahead and start. Once you start, that's after you have participants. Once you start, it'll start on that first slide, and you will go through, and they will see what you see, and they will go through those lessons and answer those questions. But it's not going to start until you have people actually in there. So, to show you how it looks if they're going to do it as independent practice, assign independent practice. Do you want a deadline on it? Well, if we're working on it in class, maybe not. But if I'm giving this as an assignment that they're going to do without the constraints of being in class, I say maybe I want them to be through Friday by 3 p.m. That way I can get it in and I can have it for whatever grades they have for that week. Of course, you can import a new class, put it in the class. If they're working on it in class and they're sitting beside each other and you don't want them to be able to copy each other's answers, shuffle the answer options so people sitting beside each other probably won't have the same answer. That question timer, I would leave that off for now for the simple fact if it's a lesson slides actually take longer than quiz slides because you're actually reading or watching a video. So just leave that off in lessons unless you have a specific idea of maybe showing them how to do the questions for state testing or something like that. Then you can turn it on. The gamification aspect, I have this on because if I'm doing a group lesson, then I would really want to have it on because they get those little funny names where, nobody knows who the other person is. And it actually shows the leaderboard. The leaderboard just after each question, who's winning at this point, who's answered the most questions. And the kids love that because everything is a competition for them. If it's independent practice, you can turn that off on independent practice because they can't see what anybody else is doing. They're working on this, as an individual, not as the group. So it just depends on what you're doing, how you want to set your options up. Then hit continue. Now, once you have assigned it as independent practice, it gives you this information here. Tells you when it starts, when it ends, how the students will get in, because this information, once they get that link, this information will be there for them. Of course, you can put it in Google Classroom, Canvas, Schoology, Microsoft Teams, Remind, Twitter, anywhere you could post the link. This is where this information could go. And what's so great is once the kids start working on it, their information will pop up here. The participants, how many students are in, the questions that they're answering, how many have gotten it right, how long it's taking each one to do it, overview of what's going on. Each student will get an overview of how well they're doing on here and the standards that are going with it. Now, if you did not specify standards in it, it typically won't show you. But this is all right in the moment data. While they're working on it, if you want to hit that little refresh button, it'll show you how many kids have started to work, how far they're along, and how well they're doing with the questions. This is very important data because you may not have time to get up and walk around to make sure that everyone is started. But if you know you have 20 students in the class and you can look at this and they should have been working on it for 10 minutes and you only got 5 students in there, then you know you need to get up, make an announcement, or walk around. So this is very good information for giving a lesson while having them in small groups or doing other things. Like I said, it can be a brand new lesson, it could be a review, it can be a remediation. It all depends on how you want to use it. And all I had to do was search for a lesson, make sure it's what I wanted, and assign it. You also have the option of creating your own lessons, and they're super simple to do as well. I'm going to hit that create button and it's going to ask me if I want a quiz or a lesson. As I said, I'm working on lessons right now, so I'm going to click on a lesson. And with that, I can create one from AI. I can upload the documents, paste the links or whatever, and have AI generate the questions. Or I can just do it from scratch. I want to choose to do it from scratch because guess what? I want to use my Google slide presentation and add activities to it. So I'm going to upload my Google slide presentation, and it's going to ask you where you want to upload it from. I'm adding it from my work account. And it says Quizizz has some access. That's great. I don't have to click on anything else. Quizizz is a pretty trusted site, so you don't have to worry about too much about anything being out there that you don't want out there. And so this is some meiosis and mitosis lesson that I want to use. And once I click on it, I hit select. And what it's going to do is it's going to upload that Google slide presentation. The larger the presentation, the longer it takes to upload. And once it does upload, the purple bar fills up and you're going to click on import. It's going to ask you, hey, do you want to be able to edit those slides or do you want those slides to not be editable? That means it's just like an image. You can't do anything with it. Well, I want it to be a slide that I can edit simply because if I see an error or something I need to change in that slide, I can do it right there without having to delete that and then come back and upload it again. So make your slides editable if you have that option. Now, once in, I have all the slides that came with that PowerPoint. This is an entire lesson. Now, this might not be something that you're going to do in a day. Maybe you're creating this to do this over the course of a week, and you need to have all of those options in there. Well, what's great is you can add slides in to put those activities in between where the students never have to go outside of Quizizz to do the extra work. For example, this is a do now, and my do nows are on Google Forms. Well, I don't want them to have to leave out of this to go to Google Forms to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new slide right after that. And I want it to be a web page link so I can add that form. Well, I put my forms information over here on a specific page where I can just copy it, go back and put it back into what I'm working on, paste it there. If you get the green check, that means it's a good link. Well, it shows my do now. I want to save that. So when they get to this slide, they got the do now, they can look at it and see what they're supposed to be doing. Then they'll go directly to that right here in the Quizizz. They do not have to leave out of the Quizizz. And once we get through adding our activities, we're going to preview it to see if it does what we want it to do. This is the next do now from here. Of course, they're going to do that on the next day, but I still want to go ahead and add that. So once again, I'll add a new slide and a web page link. From there, I'll go and get that second do now. Now, if you don't remember, make sure you label these so you aren't putting the wrong thing in. And I put that in. Once again, I got the green check saying it's good. I can see that that is my do now number 2. And it's going to add it right after that slide. So you will just do that continuously through your slides presentation. It can actually be done with a PDF or a PowerPoint as well. So this is a video on what I want my PBO to look like. Now you can include this, put media in. I want to add a video. And if I have that link, which I do, I have it already saved. I can go in, copy that link, and add it here. Now, sometimes when it's not a YouTube video, you'll get that. So 9 times out of 10, just pick a YouTube video. It'll save you a lot of issues in the long run. I just wanted to do this so you can see that sometimes if it's not a YouTube video, it's not going to allow you to do it. And that's okay because most of the time we can find the exact same thing we're looking for on a YouTube video. See, if I put that in, I get that red check. That's saying that, hey, that link is not good and you need to find something else, which is cool because you can always do a search to find the video you're looking for. On this side, it says I'm comparing mitosis and meiosis. What's so great about YouTube is go to YouTube, search, compare mitosis and meiosis. And 9 times out of 10, you'll find the video that you wanted to use or something just as good. If I scroll through and I don't immediately see the video I'm looking for, that's not a problem. Go back up to what you have and choose one. The Amoeba Sisters is great. I have no problem ever using the Amoeba Sisters for anything. Click on it. It's that you want to use. I'm gonna mute that, skip that. And YouTube has it set up now where they put that little dot between the TU and the BE, which kind of cuts out the commercials. So you can feel pretty safe about going ahead and copying that, going back to your quizzes, putting that link in for that web content. And something didn't copyright. That's something that's probably on me, but it doesn't take a lot of effort to go in and fix it. So those are the ways that you can add videos, activities. And once you're done, remember I said, please don't forget to publish. If you forget to publish, then you have done all of that work and not going to be able to use it. But once you hit publish, you can go ahead and name your lesson if you don't have one on it already. Mitosis and meiosis. This is not mathematics, this is science. Professional development, not today. We're just doing middle school. And it's in the English language now. Maybe you put this together in Spanish or Indonesian. It's got hundreds and hundreds of languages on there. Just choose the right one. And public visibility. Remember, I said I like to share. I'm not stingy. So I leave this public. But if you actually have things on there that may not be a lesson for your students, but maybe a professional development that you can't share, go ahead and make it private, only visible to you. So that's just your option. I can put a cover image on here. Like I said, you can do the search right there, mitosis and meiosis. Excuse me. And just pick the one I have already on there. Give it an opportunity to load. I'm going to save that. And now I have my own lesson. And just the way with the lesson that we searched and found, you have your start your live lesson or your assigned independent practice. This is Quizizz lessons. Very useful, very helpful, easy to create, easy to search for. But as always, if you have any questions or need any help with this, I'm always available. I'm going to be at your schools once a week. So if you see me and need some help, just reach out. And if you just want to email me, of course, you can email tgenerette at mdek12.org. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you had a great experience, and I'll see you next time.